your first big role was in Iron Fist. What was that experience like for you?
It's fantastic. I just finished Game of Thrones, and so I was kind of in a stage of my career where I wanted to find a role that I could really get my teeth into, and something that was kind of I had more responsibility than that I had in Game of Thrones. And so Iron Fist came around, and it was I had to move to New York very kind of abruptly, and I would say it was very transformative as a performer, but also just as a person, to kind of change a lifestyle. And I still live in New York now, so it's so hard to distill 3 years of that show into a soundbite, but I'd say it was transformative, and just overall a very wonderful experience where I learned a lot about myself. Yeah.
And when the first season didn't live up to the expectations, neither from the audiences nor the critics, the second season went uphill in a really good way. So what changed between these two seasons?
Wow, a lot changed. We had a different showrunner, different directors, different stunt choreographers, different producers, different writers. The only thing that didn't change was the cast. So a lot changed for the better. But also I think what I was really interested in as a performer was, how does one undergo a kind of creative disappointment like that and still have the will and the passion and the kind of intention to continue to go to work and make the best possible thing that you can. And I think what I learned about myself as a performer is that as long as you carry yourself with integrity, and what I mean by that is, in the first season, I showed up to work with passion, and I tried as best as I can despite all of the things that were going on behind the scenes. And I knew that because I'd applied myself at the best of my capacity, that even when the first season came out and it wasn't received in the way that I'd hoped it had, I had the ability to fall back on my integrity, that I knew that I did the best that I could. And so that kind of taught me that in life, if one just applies themselves at the best that they can with the most amount of passion, and you just do it for the love of the craft, then it really doesn't matter if the show is a success or a critical or not, because that doesn't really matter to the performer. What matters to the performer is that you kind of apply yourself.
And it was worth it at the end.
Yeah, I learned a lot about myself, how to deal with that kind of creative disappointment, and how to pick yourself back up and continue to move forward with grace and with optimism as well. And that's really what we did with the second season. We didn't let all of that drag us down. In fact, we kind of used that fire to kind of push us forward and make the improvements and dig more into the story and the production. And I'm really proud of everything we did with the second season. We had a great time on that show, and we had some great people creatively supporting us behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's great. We were searching for questions to ask you in this interview, and we found this article from 2015. I think it's a little bit before you went into the Iron Fist, that you predicted a lot of things that happened at the end of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like Bran dissolving the throne, which
Yes.
is oddly specific.
Yeah.
But so how did you do it? Did you have your own theories? Did someone tell you?
No, I think I was a big fan of the books, and I think it's just I don't know,
It made sense.
Creative intuition, I guess. It just made sense, and also
I feel like the fans didn't think it was really intuitive.
Yeah, well, people have different opinions, right? And that's the great thing about art, is that everyone has different opinions, and that's what makes it. For me, I thought that would be the best possible outcome. If you're trying to tell a story with a hopeful ending, then and if it's a story of, a philosophical story, primarily Game of Thrones is a philosophical, political story, right? How do you tell the best ending? And you look at the factions that are at play, it's well, who do you want to win this crazy war? And it's well, the most hopeful ending is that you give it to the clan that is most connected with nature and spirit, because nature and spirit is really all we come from, and the only thing that is going to save us from all of the war within the world. So with that lens, I was like, well, it makes most sense to kind of have Bran be on the Iron Throne, you know?
Yeah.
Because he embodies that.
True.
You know, he embodies the kind of the nature and the spirit.
Yeah. You're still waiting for the next book?
Not really, no. At this point, I've kind of found other things to read, so, yeah.
You mentioned in press conference that music really keeps you grounded.
Yes.
Could you share with us one song that brings Finn back after playing a role?
Oh, God. There are so many songs. Wow. Well, just off the top of my head, just because you said that and you said the word brought me back, there's a really great song it's called Love Brought Me Back, and it's by DJ Rogers. And yeah, probably if I ever need to listen to a song to bring me back to the core essence of my being, and that would be it. Yeah.
It's very interesting. And just to end things, do you have any current projects that you're working on that you like to share with us?
Not right now. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and and we've just gone through a kind of strike, which kind of upended a lot of things. So right now, it's just trying to get everything back on track. But there's a lot of really cool possibilities in the air, and I'm excited to see. I'm just excited to see what's next.
Yes. Thank you so much, and good luck with your next project.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.